Hello and welcome to 22nd Century Television, Channel 28. With me, Marion Davies Kama. Let's take a look at the stories making the news wave. The United Nations General Assembly selected 5 nations to serve as temporary members of the 15-member Security Council. Zimbabwe secured its position on the UN Security Council without opposition from the African group. It will be joined by Austria, Kyrgyzstan, Portugal, and Trinidad and Tobago, all beginning a 2-year tenure on January 1, 2027. This election marks a truly significant moment for Kyrgyzstan, which will serve on the esteemed council for the very first time since becoming a member of the United Nations back in 1992.
Zimbabwe, 182. Trinidad and Tobago, 181. Guyana, 1. Portugal, 134. Austria, 131. Having obtained the required 2/3 majority and the largest number of votes, Austria, Portugal, Trinidad and Tobago, and Zimbabwe are elected members of the Security Council for a 2-year term beginning on January 1st, 2027. Kyrgyzstan, 142. I congratulate the states which have been elected members of the Security Council today, and I thank the tellers for their assistance in this election.
Despite a vigorous campaign to secure a spot, Germany ultimately came in third for the 2 available positions, contested by the Western European and others group. Zimbabwe is set to take over from Somalia on the Security Council, which stands out as the sole UN entity empowered to make legal binding choices, such as implementing penalties or authorizing military intervention. Meanwhile, Denmark, Greece, Pakistan, and Panama will be concluding their terms and stepping down from the Council at the close of 2026. Providing a sense of continuity, Marion, Colombia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Latvia, and Liberia will maintain their presence on this vitally important body until the end of 2027. It's important to remember that the Council's 5 long-standing permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the United States, still hold the power to block crucial decisions. The U.S. State Department has announced that Israel and Lebanon have reached an agreement to revive their delicate truce. As part of this deal, they plan to establish several experimental safe zones within Lebanon where members of Hezbollah will be buried. A joint statement clarified that this understanding depends entirely on a complete halt to attacks from Hezbollah, the armed group supported by Iran, among other conditions. The 3 involved nations also firmly stated they would not tolerate any group, whether a government or not, attempting to dictate Lebanon's future. This agreement was revealed in Washington on Wednesday, coming after Israeli attacks claimed at least 9 lives in southern Lebanon, and Hezbollah responded by firing rockets into northern Israel.
On June 2nd and 3rd, 2026, as a result of U.S.-led negotiations, Israel and Lebanon agreed to the implementation of a ceasefire. The ceasefire is contingent on a complete cessation of Hezbollah fire and the evacuation of all Hezbollah operatives from the South Litani sector. The 2 sides agreed, with the guidance of the United States, to swiftly advance the creation of pilot zones in which the Lebanese armed forces will take exclusive control of the territory to the exclusion of all non-state actors. These steps will enable progress towards a comprehensive peace and security agreement. All countries affirm the future relationship between Israel and Lebanon must be decided by the two sovereign governments. They reject any attempt by any state or non-state actor to hold Lebanon's future hostage. Israel and Lebanon reaffirm that they have no hostile intent toward one another, committed to continuing direct negotiations to build confidence, resolve all outstanding issues, and work towards a comprehensive agreement between the two countries. The delegations discussed a security framework building on discussions at the Pentagon on May 29th, aimed at sustainably ensuring the sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity of Lebanon and Israel. This includes the dismantlement of non-state armed groups and the prevention of their reemergence. All parties condemned Iran's attack on countries in the region and ongoing activities that undermine stability throughout the Middle East, whether through the support of proxies and all other acts of aggression. The United States reiterated its ongoing support for both governments to exercise their sovereignty. It reaffirmed that any agreement to cease hostilities must be reached directly between the two governments, brokered by the United States, and not through any separate track. The United States underscored its intent to support the Lebanese armed forces with the aim of improving their capacity and enabling the effective exercise of sovereignty throughout Lebanese territory. It emphasized Secretary Rubio's June 2nd statement that Hezbollah is not just an enemy of Israel and an enemy of America, but an enemy of Lebanon. Israel reaffirmed that its security and respect for its territorial integrity can only be achieved through the disarmament of Hezbollah and the dismantlement of its infrastructure throughout Lebanon. It emphasized the importance of direct negotiations under the leadership of the United States to resolve all outstanding issues and achieve a durable peace and security. Lebanon reaffirmed the necessity for mutual respect of internationally recognized borders, the urgent need for full implementation of a cessation of hostilities, underscoring the principles of territorial integrity and full state sovereignty. Lebanon committed to enhancing the capacity of the Lebanese armed forces with U.S. support to assert effective control throughout the country. The two parties agreed to reconvene political and security tracks the week of June 22nd, with a view towards reaching a comprehensive agreement. The United States agreed to continue facilitating communication between the two parties in the interim.
Lebanon state media reported that Israeli attack continued in the south of the country on Thursday, with at least one strike causing injuries or death. Hezbollah, a significant Shia Muslim group that functions as a militia, a political party, and a community support network, is the most influential entity in Lebanon. With backing from Iran, it has developed a military arm that is even more powerful than Lebanon's own national army and has engaged in numerous conflicts with Israel. Israel, along with many other countries, including the UK and US, considered it a terrorist organization. The agreement between Israel and Lebanon, which emerged after 4 rounds of talks facilitated by the US, relies on all Hezbollah members vacating a specific stretch of land.
Well, Hezbollah is going to understand that there is now an agreement between Israel and Lebanon, backed by the United States. The pilot zone project will be guided by the United States. Special units in the Lebanese army will take control of various areas and gradually spread out throughout the south, so we don't go into another pattern where Israel leaves, Hezbollah comes back, and we go through the same thing for the past 40 years. We're no longer going into a pattern of negotiating ceasefires where Israel leaves, Hezbollah comes back, and we go back to the same nonsense.
This area is situated between the Israeli border and Latina River, approximately 30 kilometers, 19 miles to the north, and is currently occupied by Israeli ground forces. It was also noted that the US will assist in setting up these experimental zones, where Lebanon's official armed forces will take exclusive charge of the territory, ensuring all other non-governmental armed groups are excluded. Mali has made a significant move, banning certain types of motorcycles outside its main cities as it grapples with a persistent extremist insurgency. This decision was revealed through a government-ordered broadcast on Wednesday. These specific motorcycles are a favored mode of transport for these extremist groups, whose activities have plunged Mali into a severe security crisis, especially with militants now blockading its capital, Bamako.
La circulation des motocyclettes de cylindrée de 125 cm3 et plus hors des grandes agglomérations est suspendue sur toute l'étendue du territoire national.
According to a government announcement aired on national television on Wednesday, the movement of motorcycles with an engine size of 125 cubic centimeters or larger is suspended across the entire nation, except within major urban centers. The ban does make exceptions for Bamako itself, other regional capital cities, and a few selected urban spots. Authorities also declared a nationwide halt on the importing, transporting, marketing, selling, and giving away of these larger motorcycles and their related parts. Mali is currently caught in a worsening security situation, following major coordinated attacks on April 25th and 26th. These attacks were carried out by jihadists linked to Al-Qaeda and Tuareg separatists, targeting the ruling military government. Since April 30th, these militant groups have blocked the key roads leading into Bamako, even setting fire to many buses and freight trucks. Additionally, armed factions have seized control of several areas in the country's north, including the strategically important town of Kidal. This represents a significant setback for the military junta, which came to power in 2020. These are all the stories making the news brief. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 22nd Century Television, for more updates, or also visit our website www.22ndcenturytv.com. I have been Marion Grace Davies Kama.